Bum, 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 bum. I don't know. I'll work on an intro. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about nothing because YouTube. No, I'm kidding. So, alright. I've had some frequently asked questions about myself. So, I plan to study psychology and how people think and different mindsets, and like the crazier the person the better. It's great. I love to know how people think and what's going through their mind, all that stuff. So, one of the frequently asked questions I get is that dang, I forgot. No, I'm kidding. Okay, anyway, so one of the frequently asked questions is, how do you get your mind to think like that? How do you get your mind away from what's happening and focus on what's better for you? So, for example, if you're going through a breakup and you can't get over this guy and he's constantly running through your mind, or a guy that's having the same issue with a girl or guy or burrito, you never know these days. It's 2020. So anyway, it's 2020. Anyway, so so people often ask me, so how do you get your mind to think like that? How do you do it? So my best answer to that question is just spend more time with yourself more than other people, because if you spend too much time away from people and too much time with people, then you tend to just never find a balance. So you have to find a balance to find a balance, basically. It's hard to explain. Go on. So you have to find a balance in between those two, and then once you find your balance, you have to find another balance. So you have to find the balance in between social interaction, and then you have to find a balance that works for you between listening to what everybody says and not caring what anybody says. You gotta combine opinions, because you can live your life not caring what anybody thinks, which is a good moral. It's a good thing to have. It's a good thing to think in your brain. But you should also take those things into consideration, especially people that are professional, like doctors and people like that, and people that have license and pieces of paper that says they know what they're doing, which in my town, that piece of paper doesn't mean anything. But so it's all just in your head. You, whether you're an overthinker or overachiever, or just you think that something's wrong with you, if you think that something's wrong with you, you should embrace what's wrong with you, because it's part of you. It's one of your imperfections, and people wouldn't be perfect without their imperfections, because technically nobody's perfect, if that makes sense. And so here's my cat again. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, just don't worry about what anybody else thinks about you. But if it's negative, then try not to let it bother you so much. You try not to let it bother you so much, and just keep going with your life, because it's just another person's opinion. Like, if they don't know you, if it's like some like complete stranger, or like another classmate or something, don't even worry about it. They don't know anything about you. They have no room to judge, because they probably have their flaws too. Like, everybody has their flaws, and nobody has the right to judge you if they don't know you. I mean, if it's your best friend, then I mean, you're allowed to like joke around with each other about like your imperfections, because you both know that everybody has their own imperfections. So that's fine. That's completely fine. As long as it's lighthearted and you know that it's not really like effective or anything, then you're good. But if it's some random complete stranger and you're letting them push you around like that, it's loss of power, I guess you could say. It's just, I mean, it's America. We have the freedom of speech, which is why I guess so many protesters nowadays and riots. But I just don't let people bother me and push me around like that. I know who I am and what I'm capable of, and I know that I can do so much more. There's so many bad things that I've considered doing, aka self-harm and things like that, but I keep strong because if you self-harm, there's no running away from those scars that you create. They are a reminder of when times were bad, like really bad, that you had to get to that point. You just had to. Often people cut because they think that they can't, like, they can't tell anybody what's going on. And I know it's hard. I know what it's like to go through that and feel like you're so alone, nobody cares, and I gotta tell you, you're wrong, because there's somebody in the world that cares. I care. There is I think there's 7 billion people in the world or something like that, and there's gotta be 1 or 2 or 3,000 that care. There's gotta be somebody. And I care. I am a big supporter of everybody. Doesn't matter on your race, your gender, whether you classify as a freaking burrito, because I classify as a burrito. I mean, the gender's already taken by me, but just saying. Because burritos and tacos and stuff like that, they fall apart sometimes, but we still love them. I mean, even vegans, y'all who are different, you have tofu tacos or cheese burritos or bean burritos. I don't know. I'm not vegan. I don't know. But it's just, there's so much going on in the world, and you can't let people just push you around and make labels for you. There was one movement that I've always wanted to do with my school or workplace, where everybody writes a label on their forehead about one thing somebody has said to them, but it has to be negative. It can't be oh, she was cute or whatever. It would have to be negative, and just write a label on your forehead, and then at the end of the day, just you get to look in the mirror. I don't know, somebody would have to get a giant glass mirror, but just look in the mirror and you get to erase it and write something that you know is true and pure and that is positive. And it can be whatever. You can classify as a burrito. Again, that's already taken by me. Don't classify as that. No, I'm kidding. You can classify as whatever you want. But I'm just saying, it's just all a mindset. It's just how you think. This is how I think. This is my brain. This is how I think right here. It's just, sorry, I got a lot of cat fur all up in my nose because of her. But it's just, my mind goes a lot faster than everybody else. It processes things differently. It can come up with a whole, powerful thing right there. It can, clap them cheeks. No, I'm kidding. Don't demonetize me. Anyway, so that's how my brain works. That's not how everybody else thinks. I mean, there's got to be somebody else that thinks like that, but it's not that I feel alone. It's just I know that I'm by myself, and I know that being alone is kind of one of the best things you can do for yourself, because you have to get comfortable with being alone by yourself to understand how to communicate with others. If you spend a lot of time by yourself in your own mind, it could lead down bad roads. But it also could lead to new roads. And you can learn more about yourself and more about your mind. That's just how I think.